This is Chris Bagels. Like, subscribe to TNW Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Bagels, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and I'll be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my WWE Friday Night SmackDown, April 22nd, 2022 reviews. So here we go, discussing about tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Now we kick off SmackDown with a contract signing. So we had Adam Pearce, he comes down to the ring, and then he, calls out the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey. Both of them comes down to the ring, and then Adam Pearce is like, well, we need to sign a contract, but we don't got a contract here. And he's waiting for his new assistant, and it was Drew Gulak. So yeah, Drew Gulak comes down. Instead of being an interviewer now, he is now an assistant underneath Adam Pearce. So yeah, that's what he's doing now. So he brings down the contract, and then Charlotte Flair signs the contract and all that, and starts talking crap to Ronda Rousey, and talks crap to Drew Gulak, telling Drew Gulak that if he don't shut up or whatever, she's gonna make him tap out and quit again. So yeah, that's what she said. And Drew Gulak, it was a funny moment when he said, talking about the contract, and he was talking about the PowerPoint. That was pretty funny. And Charlotte Flair, of course, talking crap to Drew Gulak, and then starts telling Ronda Rousey that she's going to not only make her tap out, but make her say, I quit. And then Ronda Rousey saying that ain't going to happen. She actually made Charlotte tap out, and then Charlotte was like, won at WrestleMania, and they kept on going back and forth with that. And then Charlotte grabs the table and flips it onto Ronda Rousey, and then grabs a kendo stick, which was underneath the table, and then starts beating Rousey with it. But then Rousey takes her down, starts beating her with the kendo stick, and Charlotte quickly got out of the ring. But then Drew Gulak grabs on to Ronda Rousey, trying to take the kendo stick away from her and all that. And then Ronda Rousey then looks at Drew Gulak, picks him up on his shoulders, and then hits Piper's Pit onto Gulak, laying him out, and then grabs his arm and grabs the contract, and then locks on that arm bar, and grabs the contract and signs the contract as well. So yeah, it is now official: Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania Backlash. It was a pretty good segment. Drew Gulak got beat up again this week, but it was a pretty good segment though. It was alright. So yeah, that's what happened. A little okay start to SmackDown. But up next, we're going to be seeing Xavier Woods versus Butch up next on Friday Night SmackDown. But still to come later on tonight, we will see Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn in a LumberJack match later on tonight on Friday Night SmackDown as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown was a one-on-one match. It was Xavier Woods with Kofi Kingston ringside the New Day versus Butch with Sheamus and Ridge Holland at ringside. So it was a one-on-one match between Butch and Xavier Woods. It was an okay match. At the ending of this match, we seen Butch pretty much taking control of this match majority of the time. But then at the ending, we seen Xavier Woods springboard off the bottom rope back into the ring from the ring apron, trying to hit like a DDT, but then instead he rolls him up for an inside cradle, pinning him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Xavier Woods defeated Butch tonight in a one-on-one match. That's what happened. This is the second time that Butch already lost. Not only they changed his name, but they're pretty much ruining Pete Dunne like his bad in a way. So yeah, he already lost to Xavier Woods 2 weeks ago in his SmackDown in-ring debut, and now he lost again. So yeah. But then after the match ended, we seen Butch pretty much getting mad and stuff. He gets out the ring, goes through the crowd, grabs a security guard, throwing him over the barricade, beating him up, and then walks through the crowd, walking away. So yeah, that's what happened there, and they lost Butch again. So yeah, Xavier Woods defeated Butch tonight in a one-on-one match. So yeah, for that match, I'll just give it 1 star. That's what I'll give it. So, I mean, it was an okay match, but Butch should have won it or Pete Dunne. So yeah, that's what happened there. But then we see Ricochet talking to Aaliyah backstage, and Aaliyah's talking about like, oh, Ricochet beat like so and so for the IC title and all that. And then Jinder Mahal and Shanky comes up and Jinder Mahal was like, hey, if you're so confident, defend that Intercontinental title again. And Shanky was like, yeah, I'll face you. And then Ricochet was like, all right. So, yeah, eventually we're going to be seeing Ricochet versus Shanky for the IC title later on down the road, whenever. So, yeah. But, yep, up next we're going to be seeing Gunther in action up next on SmackDown. So, yeah, see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a one-on-one match. It was Gunther with Ludwig Kaiser. Ludwig, pretty much, before Gunther made his entrance, or Gunther, or whatever, he introduces him, like always, and then Gunther comes down, and he's in his second match on Friday Night SmackDown. It was against a guy named Teddy Goods, a local competitor or whatever. And, of course, Gunther was dominating the whole match. At the ending, he hit a chop to the back on a Teddy and then locks on a sleeper hold. But then, instead of trying to make him tap out, he turns him around, then hits the power bomb onto him, and then pins him for 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, Gunther with Ludwig Kaiser defeated Teddy Goods tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. That's what happened. I'll give that match 1 star. That's what I'll give it. But at least Gunther actually won his match, unlike Butch, sadly. But yep, that's what happened there. But then backstage, we seen the Raw Tag Team Champions, Riddle and Randy Orton, RK Bro, talking backstage. And they was talking about the match up next against Jey Uso and stuff, because Riddle would be facing Jey Uso up next on SmackDown. And they was talking about it, but then Drew McIntyre comes up, and then Riddle was like, look, I know you have some beef in the past talking about Randy and Drew, but he said, are y'all good? And he said it was both perfectly fine, and Riddle and Randy will be the LumberJacks in that LumberJack match between McIntyre and Sami Zayn. So, yeah, that's what he said. And then we see all 3 of them walk away, and then we see Sami Zayn in the background hiding, watching Drew McIntyre and all that. So, yeah, that's what happened there. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a one-on-one match. But before I talk about Riddle versus Jey Uso, we gotta talk about Xia Li. So yeah, Xia Li popped up on TV, and pretty much we haven't seen her in weeks. She already made her SmackDown in-ring debut already, but we haven't seen her in weeks. She's been missing for a while now. And then she said how nobody don't need her protection, how she's going to be protecting herself. So yeah, that's what she said. So yep, we're going to be seeing what goes on with that. But then we seen, one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, Riddle, taking on one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Jey Uso, one-on-one. Now Jimmy Uso and Randy Orton was at ringside, and Roman Reigns was watching this match from backstage. So he was with Paul Heyman watching the match. And we get into the match. It was a pretty good match between Riddle and Jey Uso. If you have yet, go check it out. But at the ending, either one was going to win this match. But it was a good one. At the ending, we seen Jimmy Uso get on the ring apron trying to distract Riddle, because Riddle was taking control of the match. But then Randy Orton comes up, hits a backward suplex onto Jimmy Uso on the announce table, taking him out for the rest of the match. And then we seen Riddle pretty much turns around, and he gets hit with the move from Jey Uso, where Jey Uso picked him up and tossed him up in the air for a neck breaker, which was nice. Pinned him 1, 2. He barely kicked out at 2. And then Riddle at one point hits that running knee to the face onto Jey Uso. And then Jey Uso finally managed to get back up, hits a super kick onto him, climbs up the top turnbuckle, jumps off with the Uso splash, but Riddle puts his knees up. Jey Uso lands on Riddle's knees, and then Riddle rolls him up for a 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Riddle defeated Jey Uso tonight on SmackDown. That's what happened. It was a pretty good match, though. So yeah, I'll give that match 2.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. Pretty good match between Jey Uso and Riddle. So yeah, if you have yet, go check out the match. Really good match between the two. Riddle did pick up the win. Like I said, I'll give that match 2.5 stars. And Roman Reigns looked disappointed about it. So yeah, that's what happened. Pretty good match, though. But yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, we had the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Sasha Banks and Naomi. They came down, and Caleb Braxton was interviewing them in the ring, and they was talking about how they beat everybody, how they beat Carmella and Zelina Vega onto Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan and stuff. And Naomi was talking about, we had like Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley self-destruct, and we sent Carmella's packing to her honeymoon and all that. So yeah, that's what they was saying. And they said that they don't got no challengers for the women's tag team championships. But then Natalya and Shayna Baszler comes down, and they was talking about how they challenge them for the women's tag titles. And Sasha Banks was like, "Well, didn't y'all already have a match against us at WrestleMania? But I understand y'all was just sitting there watching us win the women's tag team championships." And Shayna Baszler had enough, pushes Sasha Banks down to the mat, and then Sasha Banks quickly gets back up, but then Naomi was holding her back, so they wouldn't get in the fight. And yeah, that's what happened there. So it was a okay segment, just setting up for those two teams to face off, I think, at WrestleMania Backlash for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. That's all it really is. But it was an okay segment. But up next, we're going to be seeing Madcap Moss in action versus Angel, I think it is. Up next on SmackDown, that match will be happening. But yeah, that's what's going to be happening. But backstage, before we talk about that match, Madcap Moss was backstage with Happy Corbin. Happy Corbin was like, I'm going to be the bigger man. You know, I'm okay with you about what happened 2 weeks ago on SmackDown and all that. Would you come back to me? And then Madcap Moss was like saying, nope. And then lays in some jokes on him. So yeah, that's what happened there. But up next, like I said, Madcap Moss versus Angel up next on SmackDown. So yeah, see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a one-on-one match. It was Madcap Moss versus Angel. One-on-one. Now Humberto was at ringside, and Madcap Moss was dominating the match, beating up Angel and all that. And then at one point, Humberto was trying to interfere, and Madcap Moss took him out as well. But at the ending, we see him hit that spear onto Angel in the corner, and then he grabs him and hits his finish move, the punchline, that neck breaker, onto Angel, and then pins him for the 3 count. So yeah, Madcap Moss defeated Angel tonight in a one-on-one match. For that match, I'll give it a half of a star. So yeah, that's what I'll give it. But then after the match ended, while Madcap Moss was still celebrating the win and all that, we seen Happy Corbin come up, attacking him from behind, beating him down and everything, picks him back up, and then hits his finisher move, the End of Days, onto Madcap Moss, laying him out. And then Happy Corbin gets out the ring and then steals the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale trophy. So yeah, he stole the trophy, walking away with it on his shoulders, and Madcap Moss was looking at him while he was still on the ground. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then backstage, we seen Sami Zayn. He walks at the Roman Reigns locker room door, but he's debating if he wants to knock on the door or whatever. So yeah, we seen that. But yeah, that's what happened there. But still to come later on tonight on SmackDown, we will see Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn in a LumberJack match later on tonight in the main event. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Until the next thing happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a one-on-one match. It was the main event. It was Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn one-on-one in a LumberJack match. And before I talk about that match, we gotta talk about Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns and stuff. So yeah, Sami Zayn goes up in the Roman Reigns locker room, and he starts talking to Roman, talking about like, if you help me out, I'll help you out, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And he was telling him that he acknowledges him and all that. And he was telling him how Drew McIntyre and our RK Bro was talking bad about him and his family and stuff. So yeah, that's what he said, and then he walks out, and then Roman Reigns is like, you got Usos, you gotta make sure that they keep my name out of their mouths. So yeah, that's what Roman Reigns said. But then we get the segment with Lacey Evans. It was like chapter 3 of her life, where she's talking about her dad and, drugs and cigarettes and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what Lacey Evans was saying. Told me how it made her stronger and, fight through everything in life. So yeah, that's what she was talking about. But then we get to the main event, the LumberJack match. Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. It was an okay match. Of course, it was Sami Zayn was trying to run away multiple times, but it didn't work out. He got thrown back into the ring. But then we seen the Usos and RK Bro going at it a little bit outside as well. But then at the ending of this match, we seen Drew McIntyre outside the ring. He was getting beat down and stuff. And then they threw him back into the ring. And, the heels and the baby faces was all going at it. Fighting, brawling out that outside the ring. And then we seen Drew McIntyre run to the ropes and comes back, jumping over the top rope, where front flip owns everybody else, taking them out. And then we seen Sami Zayn realizing that he has this opportunity. He starts running, going through the crowd and stuff, going up the stairs, and then Drew McIntyre, just watch him go up there. And then we seen Adam Pearce come down, and Adam Pearce is like, I wasn't expecting that he was going to run away from LumberJacks, but you know what? Next week you'll be facing against Drew McIntyre again in a steel cage match this time. So yeah, that match will be happening in a steel cage match next week on SmackDown. And then we seen Jinder Mahal and Shanky beating up Drew McIntyre from behind, and Drew McIntyre headbutted both of them, taking them out, and then he hits the Claymore onto Jinder Mahal, laying him out, and then points at Sami Zayn. So yeah, that's what happened there, and I think the match ended in a no contest. So yeah, with all that stuff, I'll just give it 1.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. Match of the night, Riddle and Jey Uso. That was a pretty good match. But other than that, SmackDown, yeah, it was not the best, for sure. Hopefully next week's episode will probably be better. But yeah, the segment with Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair was alright. Like I said, match of the night, Riddle and Jey Uso. Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre, explained that all to you, but I didn't really care for it now. But hopefully next week there'll be a finish to the match, finally, hopefully, to this feud. And then Madcap Moss having a babyface win pretty much over Angel, and that was alright. Sasha Banks and Naomi getting challenged by Shayna Baszler and Natalya for the women's tag team titles. Ain't nothing special, but we're going to see what happened there. Xavier Woods versus Butch. Like I said earlier, Butch should have won the match and all that, but he loses again. The jobbing it out pretty much now. And Gunther versus that local competitor tonight. And at least Gunther had a win over tonight. So yeah, I think that was everything about SmackDown. But yep, it was alright, I guess. With that match, like I said, 1.5 stars. That's what I'll give the match. But for tonight's Friday Night SmackDown, I'll give it 5.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. Like I said, SmackDown was not that good tonight. So yeah. But yeah, up next I'll be doing my AEW Rampage reviews. Like, subscribe to TNW Wrestling on YouTube. Subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Bales. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and I'll be down there in the description box. Yeah, this has been my WWE Friday Night SmackDown, April 22nd, 2022 reviews. And I'll see you guys later for Rampage tonight. So yeah, see you guys later. Until then.